Suppose that on a Sunday you guys decide to go with your family and you go to the zoo. And you go into the zoo and it's a family day, you're having a good time. And there you are, just having a good time with your family, when you get to the alligator cage. And you're just looking, wow, look at those scary crocodiles and alligators just swimming through the water. You start talking to the people you're with, and your child, who is 6, 7 years old, wants to get a good picture of the alligator. So takes your phone without you knowing it and leans over real hard to try to take that picture and falls in. And as soon as the child falls, it's way down. There's no way you can reach to get him. As soon as the child falls, the croc sees him and runs towards him. And you are frozen stiff because your child is about to be mauled. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, somebody jumps into the water and begins wrestling that alligator. It becomes a spectacle. Everybody around all the other cages starts coming and everyone starts running. Look, what's going on? An alligator is fighting with a man in the water. While this is going on, of course, everybody's now lowering things to jackets, tied up sweaters to get the kid out. As soon as they're able to get the kid out, then they start trying to save this man. But the kid, he hurt himself just in the fall. You immediately run and take him to the hospital. There are the ambulances, you run, you go. But whatever happened to that man that jumped in and literally saved your child's life? Well, you're at the hospital, you're in the ER, and they bandage up his little boo-boos. But the kid is fine. Not a scratch on him. And as you're ready to leave, a few hours later, and you've already signed what you got to sign, you're ready to leave, a surgeon comes to you and says, I know who you are and I know what happened today. The man who jumped into the water was also rushed here. And he's just come out of surgery now. Do you want to meet him? Do I want to meet him? How many of you would want to meet the man who saved your child's life? Yes, please, take me to him. By this time, it was nighttime. They told the man about how many hours they were critically working on him. But finally, you can see him now. So you walk into the room where there lies the man who saved your child's life. You walk into the room, and this is what you see. This is what you see. And you know that before that day, that man had 2 feet. And there wasn't a scratch on him. What would you say to him? What would you tell someone in that condition? This father just begins weeping, begins crying and saying, I don't know who you are. I don't know why you did what you did. And he gets on his knees, more grateful I could not be, because my son is alive because of you. And the man doesn't really smile much. Just like, and then the father gets up and says what I'm sure any of us here would say. what can I possibly do to begin to make this up to you? And the man in the hospital bed says, you know, there actually is something you can do for me. Name it. Name it. Anything. Anything. Well, here it is. I don't have that many friends. I was at the zoo that day because I bought an annual pass to the zoo because I feel like I feel like I get more companionship and friendship from the animals than I do people. I don't have that many friends. What you could do for me, honestly, just be my friend. Just be my friend. Be somebody that would be okay to, come visit me, once in a while. We can sit down, have lunch together, have dinner. I would love to have a friend. How many of you would be like, when you say visit you once in a while, how often are we talking about? I'm not talking every day. But I have no one, I don't know, once a week maybe, just stop by and say hi. Once a week. I'm a pretty busy guy. I'll try. How many of you would act that way? Anybody? What kind of reaction do you think society would have on anyone who did react that way? Suppose that made it to the news. A man loses his legs to save another child's life who he doesn't even know, and all the man wanted in return was a friend. Someone that would maybe stop by once a week for an hour or two to say hello. And the father of this child said he was too busy. You think that this guy would start getting real popular all of a sudden? Yeah, but in the wrong way. He'd be on everybody's hit list. Would it be safe to make the assumption that everyone in this room would say, that man deserves all kinds of hell and torture for him? That man doesn't even deserve to live. That man practically spit on the face of the one who lost his legs for his son. Man, don't even get me in the room with that guy. Would it be safe to say that somewhere along there you would all be feeling towards this person? This man lost half of his legs so that a kid could live. There's another man who lost a lot more than just his legs. The guy who lost his legs wasn't coming from Beverly Hills. This man was coming from paradise. He left paradise to come and lose a lot more than just 2 feet. And we just all agreed that es para darle una paliza and beat him down to a bloody pulp for this father for acting this way. How dare he have the audacity to say, oh, once a week, let me think about that. But yet, all this man says is, I don't have that many friends. And I would love to be your friend. You could come once a week to my house and spend a little time with me. I don't know. I'm real busy. Sometimes work gets in the way. Sometimes I'm just tired and I sleep in. Oh, but that's okay. That nobody's like, oh, how dare you? With the other guy that just lost his feet, we're ready to clobber the guy. But for him, oh, it's okay to slap him in his face, right? This story, this greatest story ever told, this man, while he was being beaten to a bloody pulp, literally while being beaten, all he was doing was praying for them and for you and for me. Saying, Lord, I'm going through all of this because I'm hoping that one person is going to be able to receive the gift I want to give them. The entire time that he was walking toward Calvary, all he was doing was praying for those who were beating him. Saying, please, Father, don't destroy them. They don't know what they're doing. When we think about what this man went through, let me share with you another Spirit of Prophecy quote. Look at this. The Lord of glory was dying, a ransom for the race. It was not the pain of the cross that caused his inexpressible agony. Christ saw how deep the hold of sin upon the human heart was, how few would be willing to break from its power. He saw multitudes perishing within reach of abundant help. The wrath of God against sin filled the soul of his Son. Now, with the terrible weight of guilt he bears, he cannot see his Father's reconciling face. The withdrawal of the divine countenance from the Savior in this hour of supreme anguish pierced his heart with a sorrow that can never be fully understood by man. So great was his agony that his physical pain was hardly felt. I can't even begin to imagine what kind of mental, emotional, psychological pain, anguish, and torture it would be to have carrying the sins of every single human on earth dumped on you. I cannot imagine how bad that must be, that nails through your hands and feet, you don't even feel them. That's like nothing compared to the pain and agony of carrying the sins of you and of me. And he didn't have to let them do that to him. He could have called the legion of angels to take him down from that cross. He could have slaughtered all his tormentors. But he didn't. He hung there, bleeding for you. This is why